Unmasking the Truth, Heathen Holidays vs. Biblical Holy Days. Photo by Chris Liu on Unsplash. For generations, many of us have celebrated holidays like Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, and New Year's Day, believing these traditions are rooted in righteousness or even commanded by God. But what if these celebrations, now cloaked in Christianity, are nothing more than rebranded heathen traditions? What if they distract us from the true holy days Yahawah commanded His people to observe? This article will explore the origins of these popular holidays and their stark contrast with the scriptural holy days such as Passover. Thanksgiving, a harvest of heathen influence. Thanksgiving as it's celebrated today is often seen as a day of gratitude and family, but its roots go deeper into the harvest festivals of heathen cultures like the Roman Paganalia or Celtic harvest feasts. These festivals involved sacrifices and offerings to false gods for a bountiful harvest. When the Edomites colonized the Americas, they carried these traditions with them, adapting them to their new environment and combining them with indigenous customs. Today, Thanksgiving serves as a reflection of this history, a day with ties to conquest and assimilation, not scriptural holiness. Christmas, the birth of deception. Despite being marketed as the celebration of Christ's birth, Christmas is deeply connected to Saturnalia, a Roman festival honoring the god Saturn. The date, December 25, was chosen to coincide with the winter solstice and the pagan celebration of the unconquered sun Sol Invictus. Evergreen trees, lights, and gift-giving were symbols of fertility, life, and abundance tied to these heathen rituals, not Yahawah's commandments. Nowhere in Scripture are we told to celebrate Christ's birth, let alone with customs that originated in idol worship. Instead, the Bible condemns such practices. Learn not the way of the heathen, for the customs of the people are vain. Jeremiah 10:3. New Year's Day, Janus and false beginnings. January 1 is named after Janus, the Roman god of transitions and doorways. Celebrations included sacrifices, feasts, and making promises to Janus for the coming year. This has nothing to do with the scriptural calendar, which begins in the spring during the month of Abib, as commanded in Exodus 12:2. The modern New Year promotes indulgence, revelry, and resolutions that often overlook Yahawah's laws, reflecting a heathen mindset rather than a godly one. Easter versus Passover, the Great Deception. Easter, celebrated as the resurrection of Christ, is another heathen holiday in disguise. Its name and customs are tied to Ishtar, the Babylonian goddess of fertility. This is why Easter is associated with eggs and rabbits, symbols of fertility and rebirth. In contrast, Passover is a holy day commanded by Yahawah to commemorate the Israelites' deliverance from Egypt, Exodus 12:14. It reminds us of Yahawah's power, mercy, and covenant with His people. Unlike Easter, which is filled with pagan customs, Passover is deeply rooted in the word of Yahawah and calls for obedience and remembrance. What's at stake? By celebrating these heathen-inspired holidays, we unknowingly uphold traditions that pull us further from Yahawah's laws. As Christians, we are commanded to observe His holy days, which are not just cultural observances but a reflection of our covenant and identity. Paul reminds us in Colossians 2:8, "Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ." These traditions, though wrapped in Christianity, are not of Yahawah, but of man. The call to return. If you've ever wondered why these holidays feel disconnected from Scripture, or why the Bible never commands their observance, now is the time to seek understanding. Yahawah gave us holy days like Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, Feast of Tabernacles, and others to draw us closer to Him and remind us of our heritage as His chosen people. It's time to let go of the traditions of men and return to the holy days that Yahawah established for His people. These are not just rituals, they are acts of obedience, identity, and worship of the Most High. Will you choose the customs of the nations, or will you honor the commandments of Yahawah? The choice is yours, but the truth is undeniable. Photo by Vladislav Tobolenko on Unsplash, by Christopher Turner, Heritage Weekly founder and editor-in-chief.